Hello everyone, and welcome to Our Imaginations. Thank you so much for joining us as always. Today we'll be looking at the uncertain, elusive future of Young Justice. For what is Young Justice Crisis? The animated series, which started on the Cartoon Network in 2010, approximately 336 hours after the release of 127 hours, has become a beloved saga for many dedicated fans. Fans so dedicated that this show has come back from the dead not once, not twice,
but thrice.
But it was really only twice, when Young Justice failed to be renewed after the fantastically received Season 2 due to poor toy sales. Fans rallied for years until it was announced that Young Justice would be making its return on the shiny new Warner Bros. Streaming service DC Universe Unlimited, which was only the, fourth last failed Warner Bros. Streamer. But after the lackluster reception of Season 3, the decision of whether or not to renew the series was up in the air, so once again the fans rallied. However, by the time Season 4 was announced, it had already been in production for at least several weeks, but was delayed by the plague of Nurgle, which had infested the planet briefly in the early 2020s. Can we say that word without getting demonetized yet? I think I might just make up a disease. Ass cancer. So the fans saved the show not once, not twice, but 1.5 times. Now, in 2024, the series has once again been put on indefinite hiatus, with a fan campaign to save Season 5 building steam. And in the way this show loves to do, Season 4 threw out plenty of ideas for them to continue with. But what I have is an idea to end it. What I am proposing is a crisis, a classic DC recurring event which kills off some characters, smashes some universes together, and comes out all nice and shiny with a new continuity. But this isn't any regular crisis, baby. This is a crisis to end all crises. This is like the Geostorm of crises. From the film Geostorm, of course, which came out approximately 61,320 hours after Young Justice Season 1. So let's send off this beloved series with my pitch for Young Justice Season 5, Crisis. Mental health has been a consistent theme of Young Justice, from Black Canary's therapy sessions in Season 1 to the Beast Boy breakdown in Season 4. So we're going to start off simple with an idea from Heroes in Crisis. Black Canary has founded Sanctuary, a safe haven for heroes to get much needed psychological help in between their adventures, and most importantly, in complete anonymity. There, we get to see a depressingly updated version of the commemorative grotto, reminding us of all of the heroes and friends that we've lost. Now, before we get into my next idea, I want you to keep in mind that I'm more of a big picture guy right now. At the 1-year anniversary party for Sanctuary, Barry Allen watches a flash from another universe run through a portal and disintegrate before his eyes. And that's the end of episode 1. We reconnect with our original cast of characters, and despite what Ben Shapiro says, I think they should be able to retire. Dick, Zatanna, and maybe Rocket will still be working the superhero gig. Maybe Calder can be doing something in Atlantis. But Artemis, McGann, and Connor deserve to finally retire. Artemis could become an author while McGann can keep working at the school. And maybe Connor will, open a repair shop or something. But most importantly, they're gonna get all of those people out of their house.
Welcome. I think we can all agree that even death can't part these two.
Who the fuck is this guy? I absolutely hate the trope of dragging our characters out of retirement when they've gotten a happy ending, so we're honestly not gonna see a ton of our classic cast. But luckily, we've got an arguably even more fun cast sitting on retainer. Most of Season 5 is going to follow the characters we focused more on in Season 2. Finally getting a substantial return of heroes like Blue Beetle, Arsenal, and Kid Flash, or the speedster formerly known as Impulse. And the last group of characters we have to establish before we nuke this universe 30 times over is the conglomerate of villains that have been running the show since Season 1. The Light. One of my biggest disappointments with Young Justice Season 4 as it stands right now is how unsubstantial the Light ends up being. So when the season begins, they've already infiltrated Sanctuary, using the built-in anonymity to go undercover. At the 1-year anniversary party, just after we see a Silver Age Flash disintegrate before our eyes, the prominent villain of the season emerges. Telos. Telos is an artificial intelligence created by the first Brainiac in everyone's favorite DC event, Convergence. Telos helped Dick Grayson stop the sorcerer Deimos, but needed help at the last minute from the Wave Rider. God, I do not like crises. I love DC Comics, but there's obviously a lot of comics that DC has written that I just do not care about very much, I'm sorry. I like personal, intimate stories, things that are smaller and more character-driven, and if you want to do something really ambitious, you better be making, like, All-Star Superman. So, I've read a few crises and similar crossover events. Darkseid War was actually the first comic I read on DC Universe Unlimited, right after I checked out Young Justice Season 3. Man, that was a bad day. Which is why we will be making this the most fun, easygoing crisis of all time, by making it the most stressful, disastrous one ever written. In Convergence, Telos smashes together all of our most popular multiverses, from the fascist Flashpoint to the dirty communist Red Sun. It's just like in Madam Web. See, the great thing about that joke is that nobody can tell me that I'm wrong. So, we'll be using Telos to smash together every crisis and crisis-adjacent universe I can think of. In the first act of the season, our hero's situation will constantly be getting worse, mainly for the sake of isolating our cast. Kinda like in an ass cancer plague. Very quickly, we also learn that Parallax has possessed Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner's girlfriend is in a fridge, and Batman just punched Guy Gardner in the face, so the Lanterns are occupied. But mainly with the Parallax thing. And on the New Gods front, Darkseid is closer than ever to perfecting the real anti-life equation. Maybe the last one could be revealed to be the Half-Life equation or something. This is also where we'll meet Mr. Miracle and be reintroduced to Big Barda, DC Couple of the Year every year running according to our accredited board. The Earth of Young Justice Season 5 is the boiling point for every crisis across all of DC, which is why we get to use every movie producer's favorite word, cameos, baby, let's go! Very quickly, the light has to reveal themselves to the heroes, having been the staff at the anniversary party. You may think that's a plot hole, but I'm like the spot of plot holes, baby, just you wait. This is where we'll get to use one of my favorite tropes in comic media and anime that Young Justice has never fully committed to. We'll have the villainous Light doing a slight face turn to help save their universe, on the contingent that they'll try and take it over again right after. Throughout the second act of the season, our main team, at this point composed of Tim Drake, now Red Robin, Blue Beetle, Arsenal, Bart Allen, and Stephanie Brown Spoiler, joined by Queen Bee, Lex Luthor, Clarion with new baby Teakle Kitten of course, and Vandal Savage. But now, we get to have some fun, cause we're doing cameos the smart way, for smart boys. Most projects that use the C word these days aren't actually about the characters, they're about the actors, sometimes even the lack thereof. It's not a chance for us to glimpse into a universe we've never seen, it's a vapid, soulless trick, the cinematic equivalent to jingling keys. Which is why these cameos will focus on different takes on our characters. Young Justice is facing incursions from countless universes, including the recently widely popular, widely mocked Dark Knight's Metal. Metal, to put it in a way where I won't have to reread any of it, gave us villainous versions of our heroes, who had in some way hybridized with a fellow hero or even a villain after killing them. There's Superman Doomsday, Aquaman But a Girl, Joker Robin, Joker Batman, Batman Flash, Batman Green Lantern, Batman Cyborg, Batman Wonder Woman, Batman My Balls. But we'll be making our own takes on these universes' characters, plucking them from some of DC's most popular crumbling Elseworlds. Black and Blue Beetle, a Jaime Reyes who killed Black Beetle and integrated his Scarab into himself as well. He'll be our first hyper-edgy foe for our heroes to face, and he'll beat him black and blue. While our main cast faces foes like Beetle and maybe a Lord of Chaos Vandal Savage, Batman, Nightwing, Rocket, and some other Leaguers will be on a mission to recruit the new gods. Due to the anti-life equation being perfected on Apocalypse, but like for real this time, Scott Free and Big Barda have also fled to New Genesis. We cut back to our main cast of Gen 3 heroes and world-class supervillains as they try to reach Telos to stop him. So next, I thought we could pull from one of the most popular DC Elseworlds events of the past decade, DC vs. Vampires.
Devils suck, man.
We are vampires!
What are you doing?
Versus Vampires basically did what the much better Deceased did, turning more and more of our cast of heroes and villains into horrific monsters. Only vampires can be horrifically sexy monsters. So why not have our next multiversal foe be Mosquito, a vampirized version of the matriarch of Bealia, Queen Bee. And in an incredibly messed up way for this universe, her thrall will be Bloodsucker, a vampirized beast boy. He can even be red and more feral looking as a reference to his new 52 design. Since things have to get worse before they can get better again, and then worse again, let's cut back to the mission on New Genesis. Mr. Miracle and Big Barda arrive on New Genesis just after our heroes, led by Batman, with panic news that Darkseid has actually perfected the anti-life equation. Somehow. Darkseid and the forces of Apocalypse, maybe even Supergirl and Black Mary from the last season, arrive on New Genesis and quickly begin to dispel of the new gods. During the struggle, Batman and Nightwing attempt to stop Darkseid but are deeply outmatched. Even the likes of Metron and Orion are obliterated quickly. I don't love having to call this many characters all at once, but I'm sorry, there are too many characters in this universe. This is not my fault.
This universe is finite, its resources finite.
As we cut back to our main cast pursuing Telos, word of the crisis on New Genesis reaches them. They have to reconcile with new losses and further impending doom. All while they're being pursued by Dark Knight's metal arsenal, who killed Lex Luthor and further equipped himself with Lex Tech. This is when Telos introduces new death crises to this Earth. Anti-life zombies pour in from a deceased universe, maybe even Jason Todd. Also, Darkseid arrives with forces from across the galaxy, and a Black Lantern ring falls from a portal into Clarion's lap. Using the ring, his chaos powers, and inspiration from the universe collapsing around him, our main team goes to the Grotto of Sanctuary to recruit their lost allies. They then do the same with the Light's Fallen members, revealing that they have a nearly identical grotto to our heroes, because I thought that that would be funny. Here we could see some big DC villains that we never ended up getting. Maybe a Talon could be resurrected, revealing an alliance between the Court of Owls and the Light. This is where we're obviously going to get to see some of our past characters, but they are dead and still like rotting, so not quite in the fun part yet. And to emphasize that this isn't the fun time, this is where we'll be getting our very worst, most shameless cameos, right from the mind of David Zaslav himself. The CW DC universe had a crisis when it ended in when was that, 2015? You're telling me they made 9 seasons of The Flash? We can get Grant Gustin to do a little voice cameo, maybe even pulling across the Spider-Verse, but if the budget isn't there, we'll just have their awful Black Flash show up. I know how to beat him. And if we want to get truly shameless, we can even bring in Dr. Manhattan if Telos reaches into the Christ-ish universe of Doomsday Clock. Hey, it would be easy peasy to get Scorpion from Mortal Kombat vs. DC. I mean, that was kind of a crisis. And if we really want to stretch the definition of a crisis and the wallets of Warner Brothers, we can head over to Disney and use half of some of their characters for an amalgam crossover. I want to see Speed Demon fight Impulse. I don't care that it's Kid Flash now. He's Impulse. Remember earlier when I said, I'm more of a big picture guy right now? In the 3rd act of the season, they're gonna find Telos and just beat the living shit out of him. It'll be like the end of It, where they...
Welcome to the Losers Club, asshole!
They just absolutely pulp Telos in his stupid head, just as Darkseid, whatever the Lanterns have going on. I kinda forgot about them. And the Reach again, why not? Show up to put the final trillion nails in this universal coffin. But when Telos dies just before our main cast is murdered and the universe is destroyed in like 1,000 ways, the screen flashes white and we're in Sanctuary again. This is where we'll be doing the final step of our maximum crisis and putting in place a soft reboot over the universe. At Sanctuary, we'll see Dick, Batman, Rocket, and the Lanterns that died to something, and all the other characters we lost this season with a soft redesign. Before Elsewhere, we see Tula, Joan Garrett, and even Artemis and Wally buying a home together. We are finally free from the party of corpses that the Young Justice universe has become, even before this imaginary season. And for our new team sitting in the hall ready to run the Black Ops League missions, well, I think I'll leave that to you, dear viewer. Batmite, Jarro, Madam Web, Condiment King, Spider-Pig. Using your imagination is a great way to have fun, and free too. But if you want to have fun for money, you can sign up for my memberships tier for exclusive videos. But that is the video for this week, y'all. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that video. If you made it to this point, a special double thank you so much. Yeah, that was a really fun video to make. I am a little scared though, because that was kind of the last Young Justice video I had in the tank, and those have been doing quite well for me. So I'm a man without a raft now. A couple things. First off, decided to wear this one. My friend Pranjali made me for this a few years ago. Kinda gives me like a wizard's robe vibes. I feel like I'm crafting a sort of story here, like how a wizard does. Anyways, what I'm to show up for my collection this week is a volume, I believe that this is 15 of Attack on Titan. This is the next one I have to read by Hajime Isayama, of course. I'm really liking Attack on Titan right now. Reading this for possibly some channel things. Alright, I did the tease at the end of that other video. I don't remember which one that was, but it's pretty cool. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.